Welcome to the Cackling Jackal. My name is James, and today we're just going to be doing a really chill, just creation session. You should see I have two windows open. Hopefully everything is set out well, because I took a little bit of time to get it all set up nicely. So we should have two windows. They look the same at the moment. That's because we are in D&D Beyond. And D&D Beyond is a really great online resource for those who don't know. It's made by Wizards of the Coast, and allows you to basically have all your D&D books online. Which is really cool. Again, I reckon they could do their pricing differently, but what I'm going to show you today, you can even do if you don't pay anything. You just make an account through Twitch, and then, get going and jump on D&D Beyond. So everything I'm doing today, you can do with a free account, I'm pretty sure. And I should probably tell you what we're doing today. Today we're going to be making, if we go to Homebrew Creations, we're going to be making a monster. Sort of. We're going to make an NPC for my upcoming game, which will be on the channel. It might be a few months away because, there's a lot of work and stuff that goes into this type of thing. But we're going to be making a character for Lawless Seas. So we're going to need a few windows open. So what we're going to do is, first of all, you just saw me get to the Create a Monster page. You can just sort of go Monsters Create as well. And over on this screen, we're going to go Monsters Official. Cool. This lists every monster in the game, from things in the basic rules, like an adult red dragon, to stuff from the most recent book, like the adult Oblex from Mordekainen's Tome of Foes. Today, we're going to be looking at two specific stat blocks. We're going to be looking at, first of all, and you can find the stat block even if you've got the free version, Gladiator. Cool, the Gladiator is from the basic rules, as you can see right here. Hopefully you can see that and it's big enough, because this is the stat block here. Lovely. What if we view the details page? What does that look like? Cool, I like that better. So, that's one stat block. Second, we're going to be looking at the Jackalwere, which I should have put another E on the end, but it's fine, it'll still find it. There we are. We'll go to that one's details page. Lovely. So we have a Jackalwere. Jackalweres look a bit like this. They're kind of not exactly werewolves, but they're on the same sort of trail. You can read a bit about them here. They've got demon lords and things in their backstory. But I'm going to be using this one slightly differently. He's a bit of a rogue. He's going to be a pirate on the pirate ship, which is kind of cool. In fact, he's going to be the Quartermaster. So, what I'm going to do is, here's the Gladiator stat block. Gladiator is a CR 5. Jackalwere is a CR half. So the Gladiator is much stronger, which is why we're going to be using the Gladiator stat block as the starting point. We're not going to be doing much creating here. We are going to instead just put two stat blocks together and maybe change a couple little things. So, if you go here, you can create from scratch, which will give you just a completely blank character. Completely blank NPC character stat block to work off, or you can create one based on an already existing monster. In this case, we're going to get the Gladiator stat block, hit create, and that's going to load up the stat block creator for us. Cool. So you can see at the moment he's called Copy of Gladiator. Here's his actions, his special traits, his reactions, legendary actions if he had any, lair actions, and monster characteristics description. His description is instead going to be really simple. It's just going to be Toothy. Cool. That's just a little bit of a description as to what he's like. And you can see down here we've got things like armor class and all that good jazz. So, first of all, let's fix up the name. So he's going to be Quartermaster. Now, I could just put this down as Jackalwere Quartermaster or Jackalwere Gladiator, because that's what the stat block is. But I like to sort of make it a bit more like this. And Toothy is going to be his name. Thank you for interrupting us, phone. That was Kyle. So that's Kyle's fault that you have a rude interruption in your video. It's alright, this is pretty chill. Quartermaster Toothy, Jackalwere. Cool, and this is going to be Lawless 1.0. just because all three of us at the Cackling Jackal use this one account for D&D Beyond, and it helps me organize things if I put the name of the campaign that this creature is unique to there. Here's a humanoid. Jackalweres are shape changes, but they are still humanoids. Medium, his alignment is going to be, I'm leaning towards chaotic neutral. He's in it for himself. And I'm going to raise the challenge rating. Look, adding the Jackalwere stats doesn't seem like it would change the challenge rating a lot. It's only, the Jackalwere is only half a CR. But we're going to look at some things that make the Jackalwere a lot more powerful when combined with like more hit points and bigger damage attacks. So I'm going to make it as CR7. So let's look at, I guess we just start going with our special traits. So special traits for a Jackalwere. First things first, they are a shape changer. So let's just copy this over. So Jackalweres are able to change into, they're able to polymorph into a specific medium human, or in this case Toothy, or a Jackalwere humanoid hybrid, or back to its true form, that of a small jackal. So its true form is actually a small jackal, but it can be a medium human, or it can be a Jackalwere humanoid hybrid. I think Toothy's going to spend most of his time in his humanoid hybrid form. I don't know. I think that seems cool for me. You can see here Polymorph has a link. That's because over in this stat block, if we hover over Polymorph, it will bring up the whole description of the spell Polymorph. So I'm not sure if this. Well, actually, let's see. If we just save this as is, waiting for it to save. Cool. Then we go over here and we open up. If you just click on here and we open up a new tab, you can see this is Toothy's stat block here. Let's see. The polymorph does work, or doesn't work like this. No. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to rewrite it in a way that works. So what you do here is you just break the link, and then we're going to go. So we're trying to bring up the description of the spell. So we go spell, polymorph, and that's enclosed. Spell is enclosed by square brackets. And then on the other end, we put /spell square bracket. Pretty straightforward. Now, if we save this, and then we reload Toothy's stat block, it should look like this. Lovely. So we have polymorph right there as a spell. Straightforward, makes sense. Lovely. Just said lovely 3 times. I can say it as much as I want. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Cool. So shape changer, that's cool. Also, the Jackalwere gets keen hearing and smell. I was wondering whether we want to put this on Toothy or not. But I've decided to do it. Why not? He is a Jackalwere after all. So here we are. We're going to do the same thing with perception, except perception isn't a spell. Perception is a skill. /skill. And that'll do the same thing over here that hovering over the perception does. Cool. What else do we have over here? Pact Tactics. So, Pact Tactics is one of the things that really means that this stat block's going to get a lot better. That's because, again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to break the thing. Incapacitated is a condition. Yeah, so Pact Tactics, if you don't know what Pact Tactics does, you probably haven't fought goblins, but Pact Tactics means that if this creature has an ally within 5 feet of the creature it's trying to hit, it has advantage on the attack. On a Jackalwere, and the Jackalwere, its best attack is a 1d6 plus 2, so a total of 8 damage. Pact Tactics isn't that big a deal. If you look at the Gladiator, he's going to be having a spear attack, and his best attack is 2d8 plus 4, which makes Pact Tactics a lot more effective. As well as the fact that he's going to be having a higher chance to hit with a plus 7. When you look at the Scimitar is only a plus 4. So Pact Tactics is a bigger deal on a Gladiator than it is on a Jackalwere. One of the reasons why we increase the challenge rating. Cool, and that's all of the special traits. Now we go to actions. So first of all, one thing we might want to do is change all references to the Gladiator to the Jackalwere. When the Gladiator, just because it isn't a Gladiator, even though it's using the Gladiator stat block, it is not. So first of all, do we give it a shield? I guess we give it a shield. That makes sense. He's still a Gladiator. So Jackalwere makes 3 melee attacks or 2 ranged attacks. He has a spear and a shield. The only attack we need to add. So first of all, one thing first. Let's back up a little bit. The Jackalwere can shape change. So we need to look at its attacks, and you see on the Jackalwere stat block, each of them say which forms it can use the attacks in. We need to do the same thing. So the bite, actually, the scimitar. So human or hybrid form only. We're going to add that to the end of both the spear and the shield bash. Then we're going to add in the bite attack, pretty much as it is here, but we're going to make a few changes, and there's a reason for that. First of all, one thing when you're making a monster or a creature or a stat block of any description, you need to know what the monster's proficiency bonus is. And how you'll figure that out is you look at its challenge rating and you pretend it was a character of the same level as its challenge rating. So in this case, a level 7 character has +3 as a proficiency bonus. So this attack is going to be not +4 to hit because the Gladiator's strength is 18. It's going to be it's the +4 +3, so it's going to be +7 to hit, just like its other attacks. And the Gladiator has an ability called Brute, which means that when it hits with a melee weapon, it does 1 extra damage. I'm going to count that bite as a melee weapon, so I'm going to put that 2d4 +2. It's not going to be +2 actually, it's going to be +4 because the strength is 4. Cool. Now you can start to see why we did need to raise the challenge rating so much, because these attacks are much more powerful than a Jackalwere's attacks. Lovely. The shield bash doesn't need to change. All this needs to change. Oh, we can say that it makes 3 melee attacks or 2 ranged attacks. We could try and specify like, hey, you can only bite once in a turn, but I don't think it's a big deal. In most situations, it probably won't bite unless it's a jackal anyway, because in the hybrid form it has the spear attack, and the spear is better. Or maybe if it gets disarmed. Cool. Reactions. We don't need to add any. We don't need to add any reactions. Oh, I forgot one. I forgot one of the Jackalwere's big abilities, which is again why we need to raise the CR. Sleep gaze. The Jackalwere gazes at one creature. We need to go condition for. We need to break this link and then go /condition. Same thing with charmed. I need to put the square bracket in. Why do I keep making spelling mistakes? Because my keyboard's moved and I've moved because I need to be in the center of the camera. Anyway, so basically what this means is that it can make a creature fall unconscious. Awesome. Its DC is going to change. So I'm going to imagine a DC 10. And this is the same thing with pretty much everything on most monster stat blocks, is it all comes down to proficiency bonuses and stats and things like that. They're not just random numbers. So I'm going to say a DC 10 here for the sleep gaze. It makes sense that this would be maybe a charisma saving throw, which is why the Jackalwere has a charisma of +0 and it has a proficiency bonus of 2. So I'm going to treat this DC as being similar to a spellcaster's. It's going to be 8 plus proficiency bonus plus ability. In this case, our proficiency bonus is 3, and our charisma is 2, +2. So that's going to be 13 wisdom saving throw instead of 10. And this is again why we need to raise the CR of the creature. Cool. Sleep gaze is done. Awesome. The parry is cool. I'm just wondering whether we take the shield bash off. No, let's leave it on. That's fine. So the armor class isn't going to change because we haven't changed its dexterity and we haven't changed what type of armor it's wearing. It's wearing studded leather and a shield. Passive perception, again, we haven't changed its wisdom. If you did want to go through and change some of these numbers, do it. And actually, you know what? It's a CR7 creature now. Let's change its strength to 20. What is that going to do? Well, it's going to start meaning that they have +8 to hit and they do +5 damage. Lovely. All right. We keep going through. What we're going to do is give it a little bit more health as well, since it is a higher CR creature now. I think I'm going to add 3 hit dice. So it's got D8s as hit dice. That means, 18. We look at our hit point modifier. We haven't changed the constitution, but we have changed the hit dice. So you know how characters get a hit point bonus, which is their constitution modifier times their level? This is the same thing, except instead of their level, you're doing hit dice number. So what is 18 times 16? 18 times 16, sorry, 18 times 3. 18, 36, 54. Cool. So we're adding 54, and the average hit points is going to be 54 plus, on a D8, the average is going to be 4.5. So assuming you rolled a 4, and then you rolled a 5, then you rolled a 4, then you rolled a 5, etc., etc., etc. So in that case, it's going to be 9 times 9 is 81, plus the 54. Let's put 5 on the end. 135. Cool. Then the other huge part about why we need to raise its CR is because Jackalweres have not resistance, they have immunity to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks that aren't silvered. Aren't adamantine. There, silvered. Lovely. Not immune to any conditions. I guess it's urban. I'm going to put coastal in here as well, just because it's a pirate. Any one language, usually common. That's what a gladiator gets. Again, since we're making a specific monster, we can say what language it gets. Usually you would add languages under add a language, but we need to do something different here because we need to say common, not human. Common can't speak in jackal form. Cool. And that's what the Jackalwere gets. So yeah, it gets common, but it can't speak in its Jackalwere form. It's an NPC. Lovely. We don't have a picture. We could put this picture, but whatever. We can do whatever. We're not going to add any languages because we did that here. Basically, I believe if you put a language down as well as this, it will put both on there. So, if you're just doing common, dwarvish, and draconian, then, put them all in languages rather than the language override. Senses. It doesn't get dark vision, does it? Nope, doesn't. So we don't need to put any special senses in, but skills we do need to change. So, first things first. These are from the Gladiator. They're 7 athletics and they're 5 to intimidation. Again, these are just proficiency bonus of 3 plus their modifier. We're going to add in... Oh, hang on, we need to save the changes. Always be careful to do that, to save your changes before clicking on add a whatever, because it will break your thing. Cool, so let's add a skill. The skill is going to be, what does a Jackalwere get? It gets Deception, Perception, and Stealth. Now, I don't think we need to add all 3 onto there, because that would be 5 skills, and that's getting on the, high side. But let's definitely add Perception. And the value is going to be, the Gladiator has a Wisdom of 1. So it's going to be Wisdom of 1 plus the 3 proficiency bonus. So we've got a value of 4. And that just adds it into this list. And let's give it Stealth as well. Stealth, and again, the Gladiator has a dexterity of 2, plus the proficiency bonus of 3. It's going to be 5. Cool. One more thing we need to do is we need to change this movement, because you'll notice a Jackalwere actually has a movement of 40 feet, not 30 feet. And that should be everything, but let's go check. So first of all, let's save the changes. Wait for it to load, then we'll reload Toothy Statblock. Cool. Armor class 16, hit points 135, speed 40, the 20 strength, 15 dex, 16 con, 10 intelligence, 12 wisdom, 15 charisma. Saving throws, strength plus 8 is correct, dex plus 5, con plus 6. Skills, athletics, intimidation, perception, stealth. The athletics, we actually increased its strength, so we need to fix up the athletics. Almost missed that. He actually has a plus 8 to athletics. His immunity, yep. Passive perception 11. That's wrong as well. Since we gave him the perception proficiency, we need to change his passive perception to 14. Challenge rating 7. Yep, this is all right. Let's just check that all these links work, just because I am a stickler for things like that working. Lovely. 3 attacks or 2 ranged attacks. Yep. Parry. Lovely. That is Toothy, the Quartermaster Jackalwere. So let's save these changes and then just reload this. Awesome. That didn't take us very long, and it would have taken me less time if I wasn't explaining it. But that is how to combine 2 stat blocks really easily in D&D Beyond. I will just say the Jackalwere is not in the basic rules. It's from the monster manual. So either, if you want to do it in D&D Beyond, you either have to buy the monster manual in D&D Beyond, or you could just pull out your monster manual if you got it in person and just do it all manually. That works too. But D&D Beyond is really awesome for stuff like this. And yeah, so that's everything. I'm James. This is the Cackling Jackal. We just made a Jackalwere, and I'll see you next time.